Morning guys, welcome to day 2 of, well, day 3 now of Vlogmas. Today's December the 2nd. I am up early again. It is now actually almost 7, a bit later than usual for me, but yeah, so I'm up now. I've got my coffee ready and gonna enjoy that, watch a podcast or two, and knit a bit on that cardigan for Layla. I did finish the body last night like I thought I would, and I even picked up and started the button band. I was having some dilemmas about which buttons to go with, and I asked on Instagram last night, and it seems like the overwhelming majority have chosen the green buttons. There was also like a dark, like brownish kind of colour and a lighter cream colour, and all three go quite nicely with the cardigan, but I actually quite like the green as well. The more I think about it, the more that one was growing on me, and I'll show you those later when there's better lighting. So I think that's the one I'm going to go for. So yeah, I literally just grabbed my clothes from yesterday as I was leaving the bedroom. Just seems to be what I do nowadays, is if I'm leaving the bedroom before Layla wakes up, just like grab the clothes from last night, yesterday, and put them on until she wakes up, and then I go get changed. But yesterday was also the boys' birthday. Hugo and Derek turned 6 yesterday. So I can't believe we've almost had them for 6 years. We got them when they were 3 months old, so around mid-February, around the time Layla was born actually, was when we got them. And yeah, so I can't believe we've had them for that long now. I genuinely cannot remember our lives before the cats. Like I don't even know what we did before them. And yeah, that's it for now.
A nugget size one.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on. I'm working on a nugget size cardigan. This one's for you. Aren't you so cute?
Your woman cozy.
Layla? Good morning.
So offensive.
What's that face for?
Hiya. I'm gonna go pick her now.
You okay? Very vocal this morning. Are you waving? That's the first time. Are you waving, honey? It's the first time you've done that. Hey guys, so I quickly wanted to check in with with a couple of bits before I get going. Perry's already taken Layla to Gymboree, so they're there at the moment. I'm gonna have to leave in the next 5-10 minutes to go meet them and then head off to the birthday party. I just wanted to show you the progress on the cardigan. I did start the collar. I'm actually literally just 2 ways away from binding off the collar, but I don't think I'm gonna have time to do that before I go, which is fine. I'll do it when I get back. But yeah, as you can probably tell, not sure how well you can see the colour difference. It's really obvious in real life, but I picked up and did all the short row shaping for the shawl collar with that third skein, which I said was going to be a lot lighter than than the first skeins. That you can kind of see the difference there. What I realised is it has less of the yellow that the body has. So the body has a fair bit of yellow as sort of like the background colour, and the third skein doesn't have as much of that yellow in it. It's more creamy colour. So that does create a stark difference, but because this is at the back of the shawl collar and in the short row shaping, it won't be so obvious once the collar is sort of bent over, because once I finished the short row shaping I started alternating with one of the other skeins, so that should balance it out a little bit more in the ribbing, at least in the bit that will be seen. And then so yeah, that's done almost. I've added in the buttonholes. So the buttons I am going with are these green ones, these little iridescent green ones. I really wanted to use buttons that I already had, so I did post, like I said, some options. Sorry, getting into focus. And some people suggested like just get different buttons or something. I'm like, I really want to use what I already have. I don't want to have to go out and get buttons for this. It's for a child. I don't want to have to worry too much about it or spend too much on buttons. But yeah, they're a little bit smaller than I probably would have liked, but I've used a slightly different buttonhole method to create slightly smaller holes. The thing is, I found with buttonholes is that you don't really need a really big buttonhole for bigger buttons anyway, just because they do stretch out. Like for my mix and match cardigan, my buttons they're like 3/4 of an inch one way and like an inch the other way, and I've just used a regular yarn over knit 2 together buttonhole, like nothing more than that. I haven't like cast off like 3 stitches or anything. It's just because it would be too big, and those buttons fit through that quite easily. So I knew like a yarn over knit 2 together buttonhole for these buttons would be far too big, and with a kid and everything, they're just going to pop out and pop open really easily, so I didn't want that. But yes, that's just an update on where I'm at with that. So like I said, the shawl collar should be finished, and I think by using the third skein for that shawl collar, I should probably have enough to knit both of the sleeves with the original skeins that I used in the body, because there was a fair amount left over from those. So hopefully I won't even need to have to use the third skein in the sleeves. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about before I head out is so we're moving. As you guys know, we're having to leave the US, but the situation is slightly more complicated than that. So yes, we're moving twice, kind of, sort of. I'll explain. So the first move is just going to be we're moving to a different apartment in New York. We're moving to an apartment just a few blocks north of where we are now. The thing is, the lease on this place ends whilst we're going to be in the UK, so we didn't want to sign on for another 1-year lease considering we're going to be leaving, and so we're subletting somewhere a little bit further north of here, and we are going to be moving back to London temporarily. We'll be moving back to London in February of next year, probably early February, before Layla's birthday. So we'll be back in London for her first birthday. And so to explain that a little bit, Perry was offered a job by another company, which he was really excited about, and we really wanted to see if there was a way to make it work. And yeah, so we came up with a situation that should work out fine. Ultimately, the company wants Perry to be based in New York. They are mainly over here, their main office is here. They have a small office in London, so that's why we're going back there. And so yeah, the ultimate goal is to come back here, and depending on visas and how long things take, it could be as short as like 6 or 7 months, or it could be longer than that. So with the idea that it could be as short as 6 months, we didn't want to move all our furniture, move everything, move the cats, everything back to the UK for only 6 months. So we've subletted a place, and just for like temporarily somewhere to put our stuff, somewhere for the cats to live. And also Perry's going to be coming back every now and again for business meetings and stuff, so that'll be something for him to stay when he has to come back for that. We have friends who would live nearby who have agreed to check in on the cats whilst we're away, and or we'll use pet sitters when we need to, so don't worry, the boys will be well taken care of. One of the reasons we're reluctant to move them is because, well, moving is really stressful for them anyway internationally. They both have certain medical conditions that are currently covered by insurance, by their pet insurance, and if we move them, then when we come back it won't be covered again. Also, moving them is very expensive, and there's actually nowhere to keep them when we're in London. We're going to be staying at my parents', and it's not really conducive to having the cats there. It's not the, you know, keeping them here is the best option right now. And so yeah, that's basically what I have to say about that. I don't think I'm going to go into any more detail about that situation. As and when things happen, you will obviously hear about them, I guess. But that's our current plan. We're going to be moving next week. Actually, we're changing apartments. We're moving next weekend, so it's pretty soon. Which is why everything's been a bit of a mess around here, because we've been trying to organise and like get rid of things that we don't need and things like that, and you know, before we end up actually moving. Yeah, I think that basically is it. Right, I better go get ready and head out the door. Birthday party went well. Heading off now to find some food for ourselves. Our local diner gets very festive. The streets are getting all decorated. How was that? Trying sausages for the first time. You like that? Yeah. So I bound off the little cardigan. Hey Nugget. Hi. Lily's trying it on. Someone's also a little bit tired, but yeah, the lighting's a bit funny because it's night now, but yeah, it's nice and long. Like I said, this is the 1 to 2 year size. Hi honey. And clearly it still needs sleeves and a good blocking, but we're getting close. Hi honey. Look how cute that is. Yeah. Yeah. You gonna do a little twirl, show everyone the back? Yeah. Good job, honey. So, since getting home, we have just had a busy afternoon, I guess, organising some stuff for the move. Perry's gonna drop some stuff off at Goodwill tomorrow. I've cooked, yeah, dinner for tonight and dinner and another dish as well. I did a bolognese type dish and a chili dish. I think Layla wants to be centre of attention. So I've cooked a chili dish and a bolognese dish, and yeah, so I'm also going to save some of those for Layla as well, for her dinners, or lunches rather. And the plastic bottle is because she loves playing with plastic bottles right now, so I dare you to take a plastic bottle away from her when she's playing with it, honestly. immediate meltdown. Alright, so Perry has taken Layla in. Oh, right. Perry has taken Layla in to put her down for bed tonight, and I was just going to quickly show you what I plan to do this evening. This is my plan for this evening. So this is the yarn from Into the Wild that I used for my mix and match cardigan, which you guys are probably sick and tired of hearing me talk about by now. It's the Mildly Amusing colourway. I'm going to use this to knit Perry some mittens. I think I probably only need one skein, but I have a second skein in case, and I've got, this is what I had left over from the last skein I used in my cardigan. I also finally convinced Perry to let me knit him a pair of self-striping socks. He picked this colourway from Turtle Pearl Yarns. This is in the Mystic Topaz colourway. It's all blues, greens and purples, and he said that he'd be happy to have socks out of these as long as they were just plain vanilla and not patterned. So I said, okay, that is fine, I can live with that. Then I also have these yarns by Primrose Yarn Company, which I picked up at Rhinebeck. Kelsey asked me to pick out some yarn for a shawl design, and I picked out a bunch of minis to go with a main colour, and I'm planning on winding these up. I'm not going to be using all the minis in the shawl, but I want to do some swatching and like trying out different ideas and stuff, so I will wind them all up anyway, and I might use a couple that won't go into the final design for swatching and trying out different ideas first, and then we'll see where we go from there. And then I have up here some yarn, worsted weight yarn, and some fibre, which I have this idea for a pair of thrombed mittens, but not like typical mittens. They're mittens that are like stroller mittens. I don't know if any of you have seen them, but they're these little mittens that sort of attach onto a stroller, and then you can just like slip your hands in and out as and when you need to, which I thought was a really good idea. So I'm going to attempt to make something that works for that. I'm not sure how that will work, but we will see. I mean, the issue with mittens is you've got the ribbing on the cuff, but for stroller mittens you kind of need that cuff to stay open on its own, so you can just slip your hand in without having to use a second hand to pull the mitten on. Because once you get the first one on, then the second one you don't have another hand to put it on with. And then this is some Primrose Yarn Company yarn again that I have already wound up ready for socks, which I'm planning on casting on, just some plain vanilla gift socks for somebody. So this is my plan for tonight. A lot of winding, it seems. I've got my Swift and ball winder all set up and ready to go. So that's basically my plan for this evening, and obviously editing the vlog as well when I can get a chance to do that. Plans for tomorrow is I'm intending to have a work day at home, so you'll see how that goes. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have a couple of ideas of like craft things to do with Layla over the next couple of weeks before we head back, so I'll be sure to include those in the vlogs. Anyway, that's it for now. I will catch up with you guys tomorrow.